natural disaster getting wiped out. And there's only the colony on Mars. And that colony exists for 10, 20,000 years. And they have their origin myth that we all came from Earth. I mean, ultimately, that's going, if this does happen, you do colonize Mars and Earth does get destroyed, and if there a period of time takes place, like look at the period, like at least the conventional timeline of the Great Pyramid, which is 4,500 years ago.
5,000 years.
Yeah. So that's not that much time.
It's not that much time.
No, I mean, if
it's nothing on the galactic time scale.
Right. So if we're talking 20, 30,000 years from now on Mars, and people talk about Times Square and what Earth used to be like.
I mean, it is. I think that there's some debate as like how do you say when did civilization start? And I'd say like probably from the first writing. Mm-hmm. And the first writing is only 5,500 years old.
Yeah,
it's worth reading about the history of writing, but only 5,500 years. And one has to credit basically the ancient Sumerians who aren't around anymore with the first writing.
Are you aware though that like there's hieroglyphs that depict a history of Egypt that goes back far longer, maybe even 30,000 plus years ago? But archaeologists dismiss it because they think that that's mythical. But non-conventional archaeologists who believe in what's called the Younger Dryas impact theory, and that somewhere around 11,800 years ago, civilization was essentially all but wiped out by comet impacts. And that is the reason why they keep finding these insanely old, huge structures, megalithic structures that are carved out of stone. Like when you go back to like Göbekli Tepe, which is 11,600 years ago. That's an insanely old structure that they didn't even know people were capable of building until they discovered it in the 1990s. So the conventional timeline of people, when you go to 11,600 years ago, was just hunter-gatherers. But now that they have Göbekli Tepe with its 3D carved things, and have you seen Graham Hancock's amazing series on Netflix called Ancient Apocalypse?
No.
You should check it out. It's amazing. But it's about that. It's all about that there's a lot of physical evidence of an advanced civilization from far, far, far longer ago than we have conventionally dated, which is ancient Sumer, which is we put it about 6,000 years ago.
Yeah. But like the first, it's difficult to date with precision, but or at least to within a few hundred years. But it's roughly 5,500 years. Like if you say, like, what is the oldest, like, stone tablet?
Yeah.
Because this is, if you're like an archaeologist, if you were to discover something older than that, you'd be very famous. You know, it's like they really looked hard.
Yeah.
And 5,500 years really is kind of the if you say like any kind of evidence that I've seen that is actually substantial is writing is 5,500 years old.
Yeah, in terms of writing,
yeah.
Well, what they believe is that there's very little left of this ancient civilization other than things like the pyramids, other than things like the Sphinx. There's a geologist that really stuck his neck out. His name is Dr. Robert Schoch from Boston University. And what he said was his theory is that there's deep water erosion all over the temple of the Sphinx, where the Sphinx was carved out of, that is indicative of thousands of years of rainfall. And the last time they had rainfall in the Nile Valley was around 9,000 BC. So what he believes is, because back then the whole Nile Valley was a lush rainforest, then eventually receded into desert. Yeah, so that whole area, like even the Sahara, used to be rich rainforest. And it receded into what it is now. But if you go back then, he believes that's when that thing was constructed. And he says the physical the geologists look at it, and if he shows it to them in terms of like just shows an image of the erosion and doesn't tell them where it is, almost all of them will say that's water erosion from thousands of years of rainfall.
I think even if you say like even if you know, even if you say like civilization is like 9,000 years old, it's still nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
So, we're still talking about like a very tiny fraction of Earth's existence. Like Earth, the geological evidence suggests Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. So human civilization has been around for roughly 1/millionth of Earth's existence.
Yeah.
Because we're just basically nothing. And even if it's 10,000 years, and
Even if it's 30,000 years ago,
Yeah,
it's
it's like-
still nothing.
Yeah.
What they're saying, though, is that civilization is insanely fragile.
That's
and,
exactly.
And much
I think it's
more fragile,
very
than
fragile.
I think we realize.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we should view civilization as being fragile.
Yeah, but we don't. In that bizarre, it's one of the weird things about people is that unless the threat is in front of us, it's abstract. Unless it's like, real. Is the pizza here? Oh yeah, pizza's here.
Yeah, I
Fuck
mean,
civilization.
no, actually, one of my sons who is Saxon, he has these profound observations. And he asked me what was LA like 4,000 years ago. I'm like, it wasn't around. And he said, what will it be like in 4,000 years from now? Probably buried under rubble, I guess.
Probably very similar to what it was like 4,000 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And
Except less radioactive.
And he asked me, did they speak English 4,000 years ago? I'm like, nope.
Here we
It's like,
go.
will they speak English 4,000 years from now? Probably not.
I should point out that I never eat pizza.
Really?
No, never.
Why not?
Because it's not really good for you.
Well, I don't think anyone's going to accuse pizza of being like the healthiest thing in the world. This looks awesome.
That does look awesome. You want a plate, Jamie? Yeah. Get in there, sir. Grab a piece.
All right, sick.
Let's go.
This is awesome.
And what's the name of this pizza place
Living
again?
Life.
Pizza Leone.
Pizza Leone?
Yep.
Shout out to Pizza Leone. Oh, yeah.
That really hits the spot.
That's legit. I mean, I'm no Dave Portnoy. I'm not like our pizza analyst. He'll probably... I'm not going to rate it. It's excellent.
This partner really gets into pizza.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Ever seen Portnoy's videos where he analyzes pizza? Oh, my God. It's like a whole method. He's got
Okay.
a number system.
All right.
He's into the crust and the flop and all these different things. And,
Wow.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the rules.
Yeah.
What is it?
Everybody knows the rules. One bite.
You only get one bite of a pizza?
No.
One bite to taste it. That's the rule.
Yeah, he
Okay.
bites into it and then he just starts nodding his head. He's basically like a sommelier of pizza.
Pizza Somalia, okay.
Yeah.
And is there like, what's his favorite pizza joint?
Always cheese. Oh, the favorite one. Everyone wants to know that.
It's always cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We spend so much time on pizza.
And it's New Haven, Connecticut.
Really?